This fucking thing.
Celebrate your 4th of July with Kenny Drugs. From citronella candles and camp chairs to goggles and grub, Kenny carries hot dogs, buns, and burgers, plus beer, soda, and ice. Keep it cool in the pool with our selection of floaties and summer toys. KennyDrugs.com.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 6. I'm Heather Curtis. Major victory today for President Trump after the House passed the big, beautiful bill with a 218 to 214 vote.
We're sort of celebrating like the biggest bill of its kind ever signed. And it's going to make this country into a rocket ship. It's going to be really great.
President Trump will sign the bill tomorrow at 5 p.m. alongside the man who got it over the finish line, House Speaker Mike Johnson.
We've had spirited debates. We've had months of deliberation, and now we are finally ready to fulfill our promise to the American people.
Republicans Tom Massey of Kentucky and Brian Fitzpatrick of Pennsylvania voted no, along with every Democrat. Maryland Congresswoman April McLean Delaney tells 7 News the changes to SNAP will hurt her district hard. 1 in 9 households there depend on it.
There's all these work requirements that they're putting in, but many people do work, but they still need that additional assistance. And I think there's just a lot of paperwork requirements that are going to actually force a lot of people off of SNAP.
She estimates up to 32,000 people in her district will lose Medicaid as well. Among the lesser-known provisions in the bill, removing the Space Shuttle Discovery from the Udvar Hazy Air and Space Museum and shipping it to Texas. Virginia Congressman Suha Subramaniam says this will hurt the Commonwealth and waste tens of millions of taxpayer dollars. The latest in a triple shooting Monday night near the Washington Convention Center that left a young Capitol Hill intern dead and a woman and 16-year-old boy injured.
The 21-year-old congressional intern from Massachusetts, Eric Tarpinian Jackham, was not the intended target, says Police Chief Pamela Smith.
Yesterday morning was the time period where the family came in and identified Eric.
The woman hit is in stable condition. The 16-year-old has spinal injuries and
we believe was kind of engaged as part of the group.
Chief Smith says the car involved has been recovered and the FBI is helping clarify grainy security video of the scene. Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
We're hearing for the first time from Kilmar Abrego Garcia about his treatment in El Salvador's notorious prison.
Court documents say Kilmar Abrego Garcia said he suffered severe beatings, sleep deprivation, and psychological torture in El Salvador's Sicat prison. Now, new details of Abrego Garcia's time in that prison are coming out as part of a lawsuit his wife filed against the administration to get him back to the U.S. The Trump administration has asked a federal judge to dismiss the suit. They argue it's moot because the government did return Abrego Garcia to the U.S. He's being held in a Tennessee prison. Jill Nato, Fox News.
There will be extra police patrolling the DMV this holiday weekend, and so if you drive 115 miles an hour in a 55, an officer's bound to catch you. Prince William County Police say last weekend they stopped a 19-year-old doing just that along Prince William Parkway near Scenic Point. The Woodbridge resident is now charged with reckless driving. Checking your money, the Dow finishing the week up 344 points, and NASDAQ 207. Traffic and weather next.
Celebrate the 4th of July with red, white, and boom savings from your local Kenny Drugs. From citronella candles and camp chairs to goggles and grub, we have everything you need in a one-stop shop. Kenny carries hot dogs, buns, and burgers, plus beer, soda, propane, and ice. Don't forget the first aid supplies and sunscreen. Keep it cool in the pool with our selection of floaties and summer toys, plus all your pool supplies. Stop by your local Kenny or learn more at KennyDrugs.com.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Banking has its perks. We make sure of it. Open an account with Community Bank and get the features that work for you, including higher rates on CDs, lower rates on personal loans, early pay up to 1 day sooner. You'll even get a free Greenlight subscription. Crush your financial goals and open the right account for you. Stop into a local branch or visit cbna.com/bankhappyperks to open your account today. Conditions and restrictions apply. Member FDIC.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflush.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe, and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflush.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflush.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free, so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflush.com.
Here's Michelle Murray in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
In Arlington, there's a disabled vehicle to be aware of on 395 South, now Tingley Road in Shirlington. That blocks the right lane, so watch out for delays there. Northbound side is heavy from 110 to the 14th Street Bridge, and you'll find delays on the freeway between the 14th Street Bridge and the 3rd Street Tunnel. Still some delays on 95 traveling southbound between Newington and Woodbridge, and more delays from Garrisonville Aquia towards 17 in Spotsylvania. Northbound is slow from Lorton heading to the Beltway. Beltway itself still a slow go on the inner loop from Old Georgetown Road to Georgia Avenue, and some delays in the toll road to the Legion Bridge. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch and Forecast.
Mainly clear overnight. Tomorrow for the 4th of July, sunshine is back, 85 to 90. Come fireworks time around 9 p.m. Temperatures around 80 under mainly clear skies. I'm 7 News meteorologist Steve Rubin in the First Alert Weather Center.
Right now, 91 degrees in Washington. I'm Heather Curtis on WMAL.
He's here. Now, broadcasting from the underground command post, deep in the bowels of a hidden bunker, somewhere under the brick and steel of a nondescript building, we've once again made contact with our leader, Mark Levin.
Hello, America. Mark Levin here. Our number, 877-381-3811, 877-381-3811. Another day to celebrate. I mean, think about this, folks. Think about what's going on here. You see the jobs numbers? More jobs created than expected. I mean, we hear this all the time under Trump, under Reagan, same thing. I mean, you have effectively no unemployment. I mean, there's some, but it's so low statistically, that's highly true. You have effectively no inflation. The price of gasoline this holiday weekend is way down. The price of food, in most instances, is down. Obviously, we always want to do better. Housing prices around the country are down, depending on whether you're a buyer or seller. That's either good or bad. The point is the economy's chugging along. And now with this bill that was passed, it is a massive tax cut across the board with special focus on people who work with their hands, who serve other people, and who have modest income. The Democrats have to keep talking about tax cuts for billionaires because what else are they going to say? What else are they going to say? So which tax cut is it for billionaires? Can somebody at some point, one of these reporters ask the Democrats, what tax cut is for billionaires? What are you talking about? Now, there could be a tax cut that encompasses everybody that affects billionaires, but what is the tax cut for billionaires? Which one is it? No, you don't know, and I don't know because there isn't one. So they keep saying tax cuts for billionaires. Well, which one is it? There aren't any. They're liars. But you know they're liars. They in their media, that's what they do. They lie. And I have a few goons, thugs, and knuckleheads in the Republican Party who do the same thing. Just like the Israeli attack on Iran or our attack on the nuclear sites, World War III. Carlson was talking about that. Pardon me. What's that Slav's name again? I don't know. O'Bannon was talking about it. Marjorie Trader Green still talking about it. They've become irrelevant. Irrelevant. The Democrats are either becoming irrelevant or, depending on which one you listen to, more extremist. They don't represent the American people. They hate you. They hate you. They lie to you incessantly. I mean, President Trump is pushing through his agenda with the tiniest of margins in the House and the Senate. And you have to give a lot of credit to Mike Johnson. He's a hell of a speaker. Kevin McCarthy was too, by the way. But this Mike Johnson, he's like the Houdini of legislation. He's able to get these things done. It's unbelievable. It really is. Of course, he has to help with President Trump. But he's still the quarterback in the House of Representatives trying to serve the American people and the president and get this thing done. And Thune over in the Senate did a very good job, too. So sometimes we should take a victory lap. It's okay. Is there a lot more to do? Well, of course there is. There's a lot more to do. The lower courts were pushed back by the Supreme Court the other week. That's a good thing. A good thing. The role of parents in the raising of their children was supported by the Supreme Court. That is a good thing. This bill includes school choice. This is a good thing. It's a good thing. Do we need to slash spending? You better believe we do. But what did I write in the Liberty Amendments? Washington can't do it. It just can't do it. And so we need our states to step up, our state legislatures, don't we? And to begin the process of capping and limiting the percentage of the GDP that the federal government can spend. But you can't do that in a single budget bill all of a sudden with the tiniest of majorities. This is the reality. And many of the people who are yammering away, they don't even support Convention of States. So you can, of course, support Convention of States and this bill at the same time, understanding reality. I said Washington can't do what needs to be done. That said, the states can. It's fantastic, but what's taking place here. I'm very excited about it. Very excited about what the court has done. It's going to disappoint us. Don't worry. That time will come. But right now, these decisions have been excellent. What's happened in the Middle East is superb. Absolutely superb. Not a single American military personnel wounded, let alone killed in any of these actions. And Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon or intercontinental ballistic missiles. These people were all wrong. They're a disgrace. The border is secure. This bill is going to triple, basically, the number of ICE individuals and the ability to have detention centers and so forth to really push people out of this country who shouldn't be here in the first place. Terrible, horrible criminals in many cases. You don't get enough credit. You, the American people. I haven't heard anybody thank you. I'm thanking you. Because but for you, Donald Trump wouldn't be president of the United States. But for you, we wouldn't have a majority in the Senate and the House. You did this. You wanted it. You did it. You voted. And you got it. And you got it. All of you, and there were a lot of you, I'm told, who called Capitol Hill last evening and through the night and into the early morning, urging your representatives to vote for this bill. I'm told you had an impact. So I want to thank you. I'm not saying it's the impact or what percent. I'm just telling you, you had a very positive role. And I want to thank each and every one of you in this audience who did it. I have the best audience. You're the best, folks. By far. You're just terrific. Now, tomorrow, as you know, is Independence Day, July 4th, 2025. 249 years ago, people keep saying 249 years ago, the Declaration of Independence was signed after some pretty brilliant and emotional debating that took place in Philadelphia, in what was the State Assembly building, but we call Independence Hall now, the Second Continental Congress. The Second Continental Congress. And there are a lot of states that were very skeptical about jumping into this war, which had already started. Lexington and Concord had already been fought. Bunker Hill had already been fought. So you had several states, particularly in the South, that were selling a lot of cotton to Britain, saying, why are we getting into this fight? They're not bothering us. But they did. So when we come back, I want to tell you a little bit about what took place 249 years and a few months ago at Lexington and Concord. The shot heard round the world. You've heard that phrase. Just to give you a very short little history lesson. Many of you may already know this. But you're going to be celebrating tomorrow and throughout the week in our independence. And so I want to discuss this, albeit briefly. We'll be right back.
Mark Levin. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Iran, a nation that has vowed to wipe Israel and us, the United States, off the map, made calculated strikes at Israel. The onslaught of ballistic missiles, many targeting hospitals, schools, and nursing homes, caused widespread devastation. Day after day, night after night, Israelis faced relentless and unprecedented attacks that killed dozens of innocent civilians. Now, these attacks were only the start of something that could be much, much worse. The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews was on the ground throughout the crisis to help provide wide-scale food distribution along with critical first aid and emergency supplies, especially to Israel's most vulnerable. There's still a need to help place new bomb shelters across Israel, along with first responder flak jackets and armored emergency vehicles. Now is the time for all good people, people of faith, to stand with Israel's most vulnerable. To learn more about the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews' life-saving work, please visit levinforthefellowship.org. That's Levin for thefellowship.org.
Some slowdowns on the BW Parkway southbound headed from Greenbelt Road towards 410 and southbound at Route 50 Kenilworth Avenue. An accident is now being reported. Northbound is slow from 450 towards 197. Also in Northwest, watch out for an accident on George Avenue at Missouri Avenue. And in Frederick, there is still the crash on 270 southbound after Maryland 85 in the left lane. That was traffic jam from 70. Northbound side is slow through Clarksburg between 121 and 85. And in Manassas, there is crash activity on 28 between Liberia Avenue and Manassas Drive. Now from GarageRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch and forecast.
Tonight, mainly clear, a low around 69. Tomorrow, for the 4th of July, sunny with highs around 90. Tomorrow night, mainly clear, temps around 80.
Packages by Expedia. You were made to be rechargeable.
We were made to package flights, hotels, and hammocks for less. Expedia, made to travel.
When you get hurt at work, Carruthers and Glove goes to work for you. They're researching, interviewing, gathering facts, and doing all they can to help you get back on your feet. They work and you recover. You can focus on getting healthy and returning to work because Carruthers and Clough are doing the hard work for you. Ask a friend, ask your family. Who would they call for help with workers' compensation? Carruthers and Clough. Go to nylawcc.com and contact Carruthers and Clough. We work, you recover.
Soak up the savings with Dash Pass and Chase. Whether you're packing for vacation or need last-minute essentials, get it delivered on demand to your destination. And when you unlock free Dash Pass with your Chase card, you'll enjoy $0 delivery fees and lower service fees on eligible DoorDash orders. Plus, up to $10 in monthly or quarterly promos to spend on everything from sunscreen, toiletries, and beauty must-haves to fresh groceries and more. Get everything you need for summer with Dash Pass and Chase. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms apply.
Celebrate your 4th of July with Kenny Drugs.
The fuck?
From citronella candles and camp chairs to goggles and grub, Kenny carries hot dogs, buns, and burgers. Plus beer, soda, and ice.
Patrick Rowe, no. I bought one set of curtains just for this one window so I could do that. These haven't been, I just bought these fuckers not a month ago. Just bought them. Patrick, you really cry a lot. Why you complain so much, Patrick? What the fuck is the matter with you?
Knows how to help you save.
Patrick, why are you like this, Patrick?
Maytag laundry appliances. Plus, get an additional 10% off when you buy 2 or 3
Patrick,
appliances.
Can you find something else to do besides try to fucking ride my coattail? Even Wigan said you're trying to be me. You block me in the other chats and you come in here and expect to be able to fucking post? Are you kidding me? You haven't learned yet. You quit going to Alpesh's chat. Why'd you do that? How come you don't go to Alpesh's chat now? What's the matter, Patrick? You cry more than Wigan does. Did you fucking see that motherfucker cry this morning when I left and he went live? He sat there, he fucking went through the whole thing. Wow. Did I make you blush there, Slayer Cat? I think Slayer Cat got slayed. She come up on my panel and got fucking slayed. I asked her if her husband does her when she's on her period. Yeah, how you like that? You want to be disgusting, fucking Wigan? That's why I did that, just for your ears.
April 19, 1775. This is your history. Facing an impending rebellion, British General Thomas Gage decided to seize weapons and gunpowder being stored in Concord, Massachusetts, 20 miles northwest of Boston, to prevent violence. Patriot spies soon got wind of Gage's plan. Paul Revere and other riders spread the word Dawes of the 800 British regulars who were dispatched to Concord. Departing Boston late in the evening of April 18, the King's troop marched into the small town of Lexington around 5 a.m. to find facing them a militia company of more than 70 men, led by Captain John Parker. When the vanguard of the British force rushed forward upon the town green, Captain Parker immediately ordered his company to disperse. At some point, a shot rang out. Historians still debate who fired it. The nervous British soldiers fired a volley, killing 7, and mortally wounding one of the retreating militiamen. The British column moved on towards Concord, leaving the dead, wounded, and dying in their wake. Park and his men would have revenge later that afternoon. Arriving in Concord around 8 a.m., British commanders Francis Smith and John Pitcairn ordered several companies, about 220 troops in all, to secure the North Bridge across the Concord River, then continue on another mile to Barrett Farm, where suspected cache of arms and powder were presumably located. But by the time the British arrived at the North Bridge, a growing assembly of close to 400 militia from Concord and the surrounding towns had gathered on the high ground overlooking the North Bridge. From their vantage point on the hill, they could see smoke rising from Concord. The result of British burning some supplies.
You know, Angie, I watch you up on JC's panel because I'm going to clone you. All right, get some new pictures, and you got that dark background, so it's hard to. There's a reason you don't put light on your face, and it doesn't look good. It's hard to see you. Which, you know, I don't know what you think you are, Angie. I know what you are. You're a race baiter. You do not like the color of your skin. Tammy's the same way. Tammy hates being black.
Isn't it amazing?
Patrick, I hid you. The best you can do, Patrick, is find friggin' Angela, and if she wants to unban you, she can unban you. Until then, fuck you.
Colonel James Barrett, Lieutenant Joseph Hosmer. Just to some extent, Captain Isaac Davis, 30 years old. They all put their lives on the line. Incredible how much history we don't know and isn't taught. So these Minutemen, and they were called Minutemen because in a minute's notice, they were able to arm themselves and come to the core of the battle. The Minutemen formed up and marched down the hill.
The first state militias.
So the British soldiers, intimidated by the colonial numbers and orderly advance, retreated to the opposite shore and prepared to defend themselves. When Davis's company came within range, British soldiers opened fire, killing Isaac Davis and also Abner Hosmer, another Acton Minuteman. Major Buttrick of Concord shouted, "For God's sakes, fire!" And the Minutemen replied with their own volley, killing 3 British soldiers and wounding 9 others.
Like I said,
this volley,
Wigan's content.
This volley is considered the shot heard round the world at Concord. The rest of the British troops retreated back to town. Smith and Pitcairn, the Brits, soon ordered a return to Boston, which developed into a rout as thousands of Minutemen patriots descended on the area. As the British were attacked from all sides by swarms of angry Minutemen, along with what is known as the Battle Road. When they reached Lexington, John Parker and his men had their revenge, firing on the British regulars from behind cover. For the next 12 miles, the British were continually ambushed by Minutemen shooting from behind trees, rock walls, and buildings. The emotions of this fight carried well beyond April 19, inspiring American warriors to rise up and fight again, even in the face of staggering odds against them. Having heard of the morning fighting at Lexington, British General Gage ordered Lord Percy to march from Boston with a relief column. The column reached Smith and Pitcairn's men on the eastern outskirts of Lexington, but Minutemen continued to pour in as word spread quickly throughout the area. Among these minute and militia companies were many African Americans, both free and slave, who took up arms and fought alongside with their white neighbors. The British conducted a running fight until they could get cover. The British conducted a running fight until they could get under the cover of British guns and ships anchored in the waterways surrounding Boston. By 8 p.m., it was clear that the day had been a disaster for the British. They lost 73 killed and many more wounded compared to the Patriots' loss of 49. Concord poet Ralph Waldo Emerson, dubbed from the embattled farmers, they were not American citizens yet. That would have to wait until 1776 and the Declaration of Independence, our Declaration of Independence from Britain. Then Americans became American citizens. On April 19, 1775, they were simply loyal British subjects who believed that they were standing up to defend and fight for their rights. And in doing so, they changed the world forever. Think about that. Lexington and Concord.
Wow, you're just so sickening,
Right
wicked.
Well, July is here, and that means it's time to celebrate the greatest nation on the face of the earth, the United States of America. Let me tell you something. Birthdays aren't just about fireworks and barbecues. The greatest gift we can give this country right now is to stand up and defend her. That's exactly why AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, exists. AMAC fights every single day to protect the foundational values that built this nation. And in honor of America's birthday, they've got an incredible offer. 5 full years of membership. Hey, stay with me. 5 full years of membership with the Association of Mature American Citizens for $35. That's right. 5 years of standing with patriots, receiving their outstanding magazine.
Oh, that's how that works.
Unbelievable benefits and discounts, being part of a national movement to restore common sense in this country. Folks, don't sit on the sidelines. Grab this offer. Trust me, grab it. Go to amac.us/Levin right now. amac.us/LEVIN. Let's give America the gift of more patriots.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 6:30. I'm Heather Curtis. President Trump says today's passage of his big, beautiful bill is ushering in America's new golden age.
This is going to be something that's amazing, and everybody was watching it all over the world.
It's only mayor of New York City. It's not the mayor of my village.
Speaker Mike Johnson rallying lawmakers.
We've heard enough.
I banned you, by the way.
It's time for action. Let's finish the job for him. Vote yes.
218 Republicans voted yes. 2
It's
joined
over,
Democrats
all right.
and voted no. Maryland Congresswoman April McLean Delaney tells 7 News the changes
The
to
fuck
SNAP
outta here.
will hurt her district.
I think there's just a lot of paperwork requirements that are going to actually force a lot of people off of SNAP.
Who are eligible. The president is set to sign the bill tomorrow around 4 at the White
There's
House.
hash
He says
in
there
that
will be
motherfucker.
military planes flying
tiny chunks
overhead.
that broke
We've
up.
reached out to MWA to see if that will affect traffic at Reagan. Traffic and weather next.
He's not the new mayor either. He's just getting the nomination.
Open an account with
Election's
Community
not
Bank
until
and get the
November, you
features
dumb
that work
fucker.
for you, including higher rates on CDs, lower rates on personal loans, early pay.
I don't live in
up to
New
1
York
day
City.
sooner. You'll
He's
even
not
get a
my
free
mayor.
Green Light subscription. Crush your financial goals and open the right account for you. Stop into
My
a
mayor's
local
name
branch
is
or visit
McDougal.
cbna.com/bankhappyperks to open your account today. Conditions and restrictions apply. Member FDIC.
And he's married to Dee Dee
Up
Skozafava,
your files.
who got beat out by Elise
The power
Stefanik.
company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
The No Contest Wrestling Podcast.
I am the heel that you love to hate, O'Shea Jackson Jr., TJ Jefferson. What up? Friends of the show are really wanting to engage with this podcast.
From AJ Francis. They were like, we just want you to cause a ruckus. So I went out there, do my own version of a pipe bomb, and it went everywhere.
Wrestling royalty right here. Mick Foley. Anything that you're glad that it's gone.
I didn't buy much.
The No Contest
50
Wrestling
bucks.
Podcast, part of the Rich Eisen Podcast Network.
Can you tell them where to find it?
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
U.S. soccer fans, get closer to the players, voices, and stories of the beautiful game with the U.S. Soccer Podcast. Megan Klingenberg, Alejandro Bedoya, and host David Gass bring you behind-the-scenes access to U.S. Soccer's 27 national teams, including exclusive interviews, stories, and spotlights. The U.S. Soccer
All
Podcast
ground
is
stuff,
out
eh?
now. Find it wherever you listen to podcasts.
Your next vacation is waiting in Denver. From the heart of the city to the mountains next door, we take relaxation to the extreme. Sound like your kind of city? This is how we Denver. Plan your trip at visitdenver.com/discover.
Do you know QuickBooks
I got a couple
Online
more
can streamline
things.
your business finances? With your financial accounts and apps in one place, you can easily see where your business stands and clearer insights, result in more confident business decisions. Get 90% off QuickBooks Online for 3 months. Limited time offer. Terms apply.
From the award-winning morning show on America's favorite radio station, The Ticket, The Musers, the podcast.
So right now we're podcasting?
No, not yet.
He just put us
into it. No, I was accidentally podcasting.
Oh, we were for a second, but we're not now.
Well, we want to start intentionally podcasting.
We're back.
That was accident.
That was a false start. Three, two, one.
Every Wednesday, Junior Miller, George Dunham, and Gordon Keith drop a new episode of The Musers, the podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
WMAL.
The new American Revolution starts here. The Mark Levin Show. Call in at 877-381-3811.
I just checked in with our friends at the Reagan Library. There's a couple hundred tickets left. That's it. That's it. That's it. I won't be here tomorrow, Saturday or Sunday, of course. I'll be back Monday. Tomorrow being July 4th, we'll have a fantastic best of for you. So I suspect when I come back, it'll all be gone. So that's why I'm, again, just mentioning the Reagan Library, August 17th, 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to have a grand old time. The book signing, the fairly intimate back and forth discussions about what's taking place, including my book on power, as well as dinner. And we love it. And I know you'll love it too. And they've Dead Sea Scrolls there. It's amazing. It's just propitious. It's a propitious moment. And of course, the Reagans, Ronald Reagan being one of the greatest presidents ever, his wonderful wife, they're buried there. It's a beautiful sight. I have a bench there with my parents' name on it as well. But in any event, those of you who want to join us, that's really where you might want to join us. We'll also be announcing next week the other two book sites as well. And then that'll be it in terms of book signings. There are no pre-signed books. This is it. If you want a signed book, you have to attend one of these events. If you want to talk to me, this is really the place to do it. And we always appreciate it. We always had a wonderful time, don't we? Those who've come to these things. Yeah, but the Reagan Library is a very, very special place. So if you're interested, you go to reaganfoundation.org/Levin, reaganfoundation.org/LEVIN. They said there's a couple hundred tickets left. That's it. Now, we have a vast audience. That's not going to last very long. Now, that said, I talked about Lexington and Concord. There are other battles, of course, throughout the Revolutionary War. Really big battles, important battles leading up to July 4, 1776, and the Declaration of Independence. So in other words, the war had begun. And the declaration was a declaration of the people's representatives to the world of what was taking place and why it was taking place. That's where we get our declaration of war from. This was a declaration of war, but the war had already begun. And just fascinating things. You know, I've talked about Dr. Joseph Warren and his role. He was in his mid-30s. He was one of the great doctors, one of the leading doctors in Boston, the Boston area. And he had a tremendous reputation. But he was also one of the leading revolutionaries. And Dr. Warren was much better known than George Washington at the time because nobody knew who George Washington was. He was in Virginia. Again, we're talking about 1775. And Warren was one of the leaders, along with Sam Adams and Paul Revere and some of the others on this secret group that they had organized to basically push out the British. He was behind a number of the acts that led up to these early battles around Boston and then later New York. And Joseph Warren was a remarkable man. Again, not only an exceptional doctor, but incredibly brave. And at the Battle of Bunker Hill, as he was one of those actually leading the militia and those who were armed against the British, the Battle of Bunker Hill, the Americans took the high ground, and Breed's Hill is another aspect of it that people talk about. But let's stick with Bunker Hill, Battle of Bunker Hill. I had a document in which Warren, as well as the colonel and one other who were leading the American forces, such as they were begging the New York legislature for gunpowder. The New York legislature didn't have enough gunpowder for New York. Nonetheless, they knew that the British forces were coming. Those big British ships were docked, and they could see those ships from where they were based. They dug in, and the British ran up the hill. They were pushed back by the Americans. Weren't even called Americans back then. They were pushed back by the militia and so forth. And they suffered fairly significant casualties. They made another run up the hill. They made some penetration, but were pushed back. They again suffered casualties. And then the colonists ran out of gunpowder, Mr. Producer. So the British charged again. Many of the colonists, they fought, some of them hand to hand with swords and knives. Some of them still had pistols and so forth, but they eventually retreated. Joseph Warren refused to retreat. And he led what small numbers of men who stayed to continue to fight, and they were killed. In the case of Warren,
potato chips.
They were looking for Warren.
Something to snack on.
641. And there he was with a sword. And one of the British commanders took his pistol and shot him between the eyes. Then they urinated on him. Then they butchered his body. Later on, Paul Revere was a blacksmith, among other things, a great blacksmith. I actually have a few of his pieces that he made in his day. Well, he had also made some teeth for Joseph Warren, and that's how they identified his body, such as it was.
In Rome, New York, there's a place that makes silverware and stuff like it's Revereware, it's called.
It just frustrates the hell out of me.
In Oneida, they make silverware also.
It frustrates the hell out of me. The amount of money we pour into public education and education generally, and how much is unknown, how little is known about who we are and our history and these people early on who gave us this great country, as you and I defend this country right now against the Marxists and the Islamists and all the rest of them. The more you really learn red-blooded American history, the more you love this country, which I guess is why it's not taught. Certainly not well. And because
been cloudy all day.
July 4th, I thought we'd play a little bit of music, not a lot, just one in particular, the Battle Hymn of the Republic, in honor of those.
We'll see how good this comes in.
1776 and the long Revolutionary War that went on for almost 8 years. I guess the forever war isolationists, they would have opposed that. They would have trashed George Washington as a warmonger and Lafayette as a neocon. But here we go. This is a beautiful rendition. Go.
Fateful lightning from his terrible swift sword. you hear it? Turn it up a little more. That's hard to hear. Battle Hymn of the Republic. This is the second verse. This truth is marching on. Fuck you, Mikey McMick. I should kick your fucking ass right now, bub. Kick you right the fuck out of here. You're an ignorant motherfucker, Mikey Mick. Yeah? Why are you in my chat? You blocking fucker? Block and you talk shit. Yeah, I should fucking ban you right now. But you know what? I'm going to fucking kick you around a little bit. Go right ahead. I'm eating a snack right now. Potato chips. Barbecue. Of the lilies, Christ was born across the sea. In his bosom, friends, you and me. That's chorus singing. Resting on. Let us try to make men free, while the Lord is marching on. Wait.
News Talk 105.9.
Yeah, you go Google that song and look at the lyrics on it. Way back in 46, I would type in them lyrics on my phone, right? Save them and post. Yeah. My eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He hath loosed his faithful lightning from his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on. All right, Mick. If I was that bad, I would have fucking done it already.
Crash activity in Manassas on 28 between Liberia Avenue and Manassas Drive. Earlier crash on the inner loop before George Avenue moved to the shoulder, but traffic is still slow from Old Georgetown Road. And the outer loop still heavy from Van Dorn Street to the Wilson Bridge. Now from GarageRepair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
Tonight, mainly clear, a low around 69. Tomorrow, for the 4th of July, sunny with highs around 90. Tomorrow night, mainly clear, temps around 80.
Imagine the hospital experience. There's a constant parade of serious doctors, countless tests, and a serious...
Oh, Shenandoah, I long to hear you. Away, you rolling river.
Imagine your child. This is why Starlight exists. Starlight programs help kids in the hospital cope, build resilience, bolster confidence, and change their outlook. Because happiness matters. Visit starlight.org to learn more.
At Average Alice Furniture Warehouse, our sofas have cushions, our tables have 4 legs, our recliners
Wigan.
recline. So come on by.
I heard you complain that I letting a fucking Muslim terrorist up on my panel. And then you turn around because I sexualized her. And you complained about me doing that to her. Oh, what kind of question? And I seen you there, German lady appeared. I see you in Wigan's chat. I'm Wigan's content. So which is it? All right? You gonna be mad at me because I let a fucking Muslim terrorist up on my panel? Yeah, I'm sure that this person's gonna strap a fucking vest on and go blow something up.
Conditions and restrictions apply. Member FDIC.
Nightly scroll with Haley Karen. Hello to all my homies in the chat. I'm Haley Karen with some very inconvenient truths. Your go-to place for the hottest button issues. So you hate when facts get in the way of a good news story? Cut through the noise and get ready to scroll through the chaos of the modern world, one hot take at a time. Hear me out. We might need to spread.
Oh, is there the series on TV back in the 50s or whatever it was? The Virginian?
Change that with the Durbin Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate mega stores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Tell Congress to guard your card.
So Wigan is she's just a Muslim terrorist. Why do you care?
Paid for by the election.
Said I was being rude to her after you call her a Muslim terrorist.
Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the Big Wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto-pay. Emailing see site for additional facts.
Making sense of your world.
Yee, skirt. You need to just swallow every time you blow me.
Making sense of the news. Washington's best way to wake up. O'Connor and Company with Larry O'Connor. Weekday mornings from 5 to 9 on WMAL.
I like this sensitive. Remember Ann Landers? Juanita Broderick. Great Juanita Broderick posted this. Dear Ann, I'm an English teacher, and my students are reading George Orwell's 1984. I encourage you to do that. I'm having a difficult time explaining communism, socialism, and fascism without giving a time-consuming history lesson. I recall you printed a explanation, a humorous explanation, those concepts using cows. Will you please print it again? I'm sure it will kickstart a lively class discussion. A teacher in Mississippi. And so Landers prints it again. Socialism. You have two
It only
cows,
take one.
Give one cow to
I'll
your
fucking
neighbor.
backhand you one time.
Give 2 cows, give both cows to the government.
You wouldn't say
They may
anything
give you some
again.
milk. Fascism. You have 2 cows. You can give all the milk to the government, and the government.
But for all I know, you could be
Marxism.
bigger and stronger
You have
than
2
me.
cows. The government shoots you and takes both cows. Anarchism. You have 2 cows. Keep
And
both
I am
cows,
old.
Shoot the government agent and steal another cow. Capitalism. You have 2 cows.
sell one, and buy a bull. So you can have more cows, you see. Brilliant, isn't it, Mr. Producer? Really good. Really good out there. Well, many of you are feeling this. I know we hear from you. You're getting nervous about the economy, even though the economy seems to be doing pretty well, but you're worried. And I know what you're worried about, the debt. You're worried about the printing presses, the paper. I know. And, but even more than that, many of you have run up your credit card bills through the roof. The interest is crazy. You hate to go to the mailbox and get the mail because you know it's sitting there. And you maybe have a home and you're thinking, well, look, I got a very good rate on my mortgage. I'm not going to trade that in or anything of the sort. Well, here's what I want to tell you. You should second guess yourself because the low mortgage rate you currently have, plus the high credit card rates, when you combine them, you're paying too much in interest. You're paying too much and you're going to keep drowning in credit card interest at 25, 30%. So what do? You consolidate. And you consolidate them under a low interest rate because interest rates are pretty good right now. You get rid of that interest on your credit cards and you don't have to keep paying that down. And if you can't pay it down, again, you consolidate that into your mortgage. And I have some good news for you. Now, the tax deduction under the big beautiful bill on interest and property taxes is now $40,000 max on an income of maximum $500,000. So you even have more opportunity to make the deduction. See, that's not for billionaires, I would tell the Democrats. That's for Americans. I mean, American billionaires are Americans too, but that's for Americans who are clearly not billionaires. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to contact American Financing. They're saving customers on average $800 a month by using their equity to finally break free from this credit card debt. And you owe it to yourself. It's just a matter of moving the money around and being smart with it. There's no upfront fees. There's no pressure. It costs you absolutely nothing to find out how much you can save every month. That's the other thing I would do if I were you. And if you start today, you might be able to delay 2 mortgage payments. That frees up a lot of money, doesn't it? In any event, call American Financing today and have a discussion with them. It's confidential. 888-900-1828. I've used them. Mr. Producer uses. My daughter.
I'm going to eat some cereal.
888-900-1828.
Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries.
900-1828. Or visit AmericanFinancing.bank.
NMLS 182334. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
I want to strongly encourage you. This is the weekend to do it. Go to Amazon.com. You can go to Barnes & Noble too. They've been great. But get your brand new pre-ordered copy of On Power. It's 3 weeks away. You're going to have a big breakout starting on Hannity's TV show, a full Sunday show, Fox and Friends on the weekend, Fox and Friends during the week, other programs, as well as our wonderful radio stations and radio hosts out there. So I want to encourage you to grab your copy now. It's discounted. It's less than $24, I believe. On Power, Amazon.com. I'll be right back.
Making sense of your world.
I agree with everything you're saying.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
I'm just great for what's going on.
Making sense of the news. For a local news source you can trust, visit WMAL.com.
Thank God for that.
Get the day's top stories. Stream your favorite WMAL shows. Access our podcast archives and more. WMAL.com. Making sense of your world.
When you shop the JCPenney 4th of July sale and you get 25% off coupon, you're just shopping the JCPenney 4th of July sale and using your 25% off coupon. You're getting red, white, and blue everything and earning the title of Backyard Barbecue Legend for an extra 25% off. We've got the receipts. Yes, JCPenney. Coupon good on select styles through July 6th. Some exclusions apply. See store at jcp.com for details.
This summer, things are getting scary expensive, and only one thing can save you. Summer of Dash Pass, DoorDash's biggest member-exclusive deals of the year, now through July 30th. So sign up for Dash Pass before it's too late. Summer of Dash Pass.
Banking has its perks. We make sure of it. Open an account with Community Bank and get the features that work for you, including higher rates on CDs, lower rates on personal loans, early pay up to 1 day sooner. You'll even get a free Greenlight subscription. Crush your financial goals and open the right account for you. Stop into a local branch or visit cbna.com/bankhappyperks to open your account today. Conditions and restrictions apply. Member FDIC.
Hey, want to know a secret? Nuclear energy works 24/7. It's always on. That's one reason why the majority of Americans support it. So visit comeclean.energy to get loud about nuclear energy.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 7, I'm Heather Curtis. President Trump's getting his big marker ready to sign the big beautiful bill tomorrow around 4 p.m., following its passage today with a 218 to 214 vote. And he'll be celebrating the passage of the bill he calls his crown jewel with much fanfare.
We're going to have B-2s and F-22s and F-35s flying right over the White House.
We've reached out to the Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority to see if the flyover will necessitate a ground stop at Reagan. Mr. Trump touting
biggest tax cut in history, great for security, great on the southern border. Immigration is covered.
Maryland Congresswoman April McLean Delaney has a different take.
There is a world of hurt that's going to really happen.
She tells 7 News the impacts will be devastating for many Americans, including the 1 in 7 families in her district on Medicaid.
We believe up to 32,000 people in my district could be thrown off of Medicaid.
They will be among 200,000 Marylanders Governor Wes Moore estimates will lose health care because of the bill, which he calls a, quote, direct and heartless assault on the American people. He tells CNBC.
It's tough because Maryland doesn't, and there is no state that does have the coffers to be able to make up for this.
He says as the bill heads to the president's desk, he's prepared to use every tool he has to, quote, minimize the fallout these reckless policies, unquote, on Marylanders. After the president signs the bill tomorrow,
the next order of business is the appropriations bill. I think that the House is going to mark up an appropriations process that's about $45 billion under last year's spending.
Chair of the Freedom Caucus, Maryland Congressman Andy Harris with O'Connor and Company on WMAL adding,
even despite the small rate of inflation we have, we're actually going to mark a budget that's actually lower for this year, and that's how we get it started on a pathway to what I call fiscal sanity.
Scott Lynn on WMAL and WMAL.com.
Security and safety remain the top priority for local and federal officials as D.C. hosts 4th of July celebrations, including the parade, local picnics, fireworks in the mall, the Nats game, and, of course, the Beyonce concert.
Currently, there are no known credible threats or specific threats to the July 4th celebrations.
Police Chief Pamela Smith says July 4th is an all-hands-on-deck event with added levels of security. In addition,
parking restrictions and street closures will go into effect in and around the area of the National Mall beginning at 4 a.m. on Friday morning.
Bottom line, says Mayor Bowser.
We want people at a good time and be safe.
WMAL and WMAL.
A 5-day search for a missing 80-year-old Gaithersburg man ends miraculously. Despite the heat, heavy rain, and his medical issues, William Hayward was found yesterday near Green Farm Conservation Park, alive but in critical condition. He's now at the hospital. A silver alert was issued after Hayward's caretaker reported him missing last Friday morning. Montgomery County Police say the caretaker had last seen him at 2 that morning and woke up later to find him gone, along with the blanket he was carrying. Yesterday, Maryland National Capital Park Police found the blanket near the farm. A massive search then got underway. The elderly man was found alive in heavy brush. He was given medical care there and then rushed to the hospital. Traffic and weather next.
Banking has its perks. We make sure of it. Open an account with Community Bank and get the features that work for you, including higher rates on CDs, lower rates on personal loans, early pay up to 1 day sooner. You'll even get a free Greenlight subscription. crush your financial goals and open the right account for you. Stop into a local branch or visit cbna.com/bankhappyperks to open your account today. Conditions and restrictions apply. Member FDIC.
Good humor here. If your summer's sounding a lot like this. Remember to make a little time for this. The sweet, simple joy of your favorite good humor bar, such as strawberry shortcake. With irresistible crumb coatings, creamy layers, and fun fillings, it's the ultimate summer moment.
Good Humor, the original ice cream truck brand, available at a grocery store near you.
Traffic and weather on News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Here's Michelle Murray in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Problems in Chevrolet on the inbound lanes of 50 to John Hanson Highway. That is on the westbound side of 50. All lanes are blocked between the BW Parkway and South Dakota Avenue due to this accident. Traffic is jammed from Landover Road. This incident also has the southbound BW Parkway closed between Route 50 and Eastern Avenue, and your delays begin at 450. It is jammed in that area. Northbound side of the BW Parkway also slow from 193 Greenbelt Road towards 197. In Northwest, there is a crash on George Avenue at Missouri Avenue. Beltway still a slow go on the inner loop from the Toll Road to the Georgetown Pike and from Old Georgetown Road to University Boulevard. Outer loop is slow from Van Dorn Street to the Wilson Bridge. Now from GarageRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch Sim Forecast.
It's pretty comfortable out there right now, but just wait till tomorrow. It's going to feel awesome. Scattered clouds this evening with temperatures running between 78 and 83 degrees. We're mainly clear overnight. Temperatures drop to 63 to 70 degrees. Under sunshine Friday, your 4th, 85 to 88 degrees. I'm 7 News Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson in the First Alert Weather Center.
Right now, 89 in Washington. I'm Heather Curtis on WMAL.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Mark Levin.
Okay, there's about 120 seats left at the Reagan Library. For those of you who want to jump in, you better jump. I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait till that event. ReaganFoundation.org/Levin, ReaganFoundation.org/LEVIN. You know, you've heard me talk about this book on power. You've heard me go through different aspects of it. I've explained that I've categorized power in different ways: negative power, positive power, soft negative power, things of that sort, without overwhelming on the air. It's just easier to read it for yourselves. But I do want to touch on this issue of positive power because I've spent a lot of time on negative power. What exactly is positive power? Well, you may have an inkling. Let's just take a little bit of time getting into this, because what typically happens is I talk about this pre-order period, and then the book comes out, and we talk about it post-release for a period of time. And then the discussions that you and I have on the air, at the Reagan Library, the different signings, but especially on the air, they seep into the consciousness of those who talk about these things. Oppressor, oppressed. You never heard that discussed. Maybe you heard it in a classroom or something, but you never heard it discussed on cable TV or talk radio till we did that in American Marxism. You now hear this guy running for mayor in New York, people calling him a Marxist or a communist. That would never have happened prior to American Marxism. They kept calling them progressives or radicals or leftists or socialists. And you may recall here and on TV, I kept correcting them. Call them what they are. Call them what they are. You've heard the word status. The word status was really kind of an Aristotelian word, but I reintroduced it to modern day America through liberty and tyranny. So status, oppressor, oppressed, Marxist. You're going to learn other phrases that are in this book that will eventually take hold, like positive power and negative power. Authoritarian democracy. Wow. Authoritarian democracy. That is precisely what's being promoted in New York right now by this candidate. But let's look at positive power, chapter 3, just for a second. Because I know this is, I love this format more than any other. I really do. And this is why. And so I explain positive power starts from an altogether different premise than negative power. God is the sovereign. And through God, his children, that is, the individual and the people, are sovereign. Thus, power properly understood and exercised in the context of government is about the well-being of the people, not the ruler. Again, look how different this is than negative power, Marxism, Islamism, fascism, and so forth. The people are the sovereign, not the governing authority, and importantly, the belief in God-given eternal truths, natural law, unalienable rights, all phrases in your Declaration of Independence. That's the basis of a moral and virtuous society that transcends any ruling class. Now, this first paragraph in chapter 3 really is the foundational paragraph for our whole American system, society, culture. One's approach to life and role in society and more involves practices, decisions, values, and beliefs that together form one's life philosophy, which results from learned, cognitive, reactionary, experiential, or even instinctive thought processes, and significantly, faith. Faith is a vital, bear with me, my eyesight's not perfect. Faith is a vital, if not the imperative influence in the life of the individual, a nation, and even in countries that are said to be secular, and that formally or institutionally disclaim and seek to invalidate faith, including by indoctrination and force. And of course, faith, as preached and practiced by certain religions or religious leaders, now and in the past, has been used by despots and despotic regimes as other autocrats use power to brutalize, destroy, and kill. You may ask, how can faith be both pivotal to positive power, yet a potential tool for negative power? And so I point out, thus further inquiry is crucial. Let us begin with the American Declaration of Independence. Now you can see why I decided to focus on this today, because tomorrow is the birthday of the Declaration of Independence. It appeals to the laws of nature and of nature's God, and states, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. They're endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The founders were men of science, reason, and experience, but they were also men of faith who worshiped God. Even among the deists, namely Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson, they knew and professed the importance of faith in society and the establishment of the American Republic. Reason cannot by itself, as I cite in Liberty and Tyranny, explain why there's reason. Science cannot by itself explain why there is science. Man's discovery and application of science are products of reason. Reason and science can explain the existence of matter. They cannot explain why there is matter. They can explain the existence of the universe, but they cannot explain why there is a universe. They can explain the existence of nature and the laws of physics, but they cannot explain why there is nature and the laws of physics. They can explain the existence of life, but they cannot explain why there is life. They can explain the existence of consciousness, but they cannot explain why there is consciousness. Back to my book on power. The founders did not believe they owed their origin to men and through men, but to a transcendent providence. That is, to a higher source than man, God. Faith was fundamental to America's founding. Indeed, Christianity was and is our nation's dominant religion. Moreover, without Judaism, there would be no Christianity. So together, Judeo-Christian values and beliefs redounded throughout our society from the earliest days of the colonists and still do today. One layperson put it this way: Judaism and Christianity have significantly influenced Western civilization. The teachings have shaped ethical frameworks, legal systems, and cultural norms. The values derived by both faiths are evident in literature, art, philosophy throughout history. Concepts like human rights and social justice and the dignity of life are rooted in those teachings. Both religions advocate for compassion and moral integrity, impacting societal values. Their contributions extend beyond religious spheres, informing the development of Western thought and culture. As America became a nation of United States, it was never intended to be, nor would it ever become a fundamentalist religious state or theocracy, as one sees through the Muslim world and elsewhere. It was never to be a repressive religious state that smothers alternative religious beliefs, or a state that punished or silenced non-believers, atheists, agnostics. On the contrary, early on, religious tests and requirements that existed in some of the colonies would quickly disappear. Among other reasons, Judaism and Christianity do not seek to compel, let alone demand, doctrinal purity. The United States is among the most religiously tolerant nations on earth. In fact, it matters not at all what one does or does not believe to enjoy the freedoms and securities that American society offers, and which are explicitly protected by our Constitution. The first sentence of the First Amendment declares Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. The reason is the distinction recognized in American society between the relationship of faith and the individual, faith and the community, faith in the actual operation of government. In short, faith, properly understood, creates a spiritual, moral, and psychological foundation, which affects how the individual lives his life. In America, it is typically a moderating force in one's life, checking the excesses of the darker side of humanity, which in turn contributes to the civility of society. Even those who reject faith are not utterly devoid of its implications. For example, when one has regular interactions with others whose faith affects or sways the non-believer's behavior, even without formally recognizing or accepting the faith itself. Moreover, society is imbued with the influence of faith. It is impossible to escape it. Therefore, even for those who do not consciously or formally embrace a faith, the teaching and practicing of faith create the moral and value-based belief system of so many others in society. This is an organic process, not theocratic or otherwise coercive. You see what I'm saying there, Mr. Producer? In other words, it rubs off on a person. And you don't have to believe in anything. But our society was founded on beliefs. It's possible, for example, to have a biblical, a liturgical worldview, or a more formal or orthodox faith belief that is, perspective, and serve in the government without the desire, purpose, or conviction to impose that faith on others by governmental coercion. That is negative power. This is well understood in America, and there's a reason for it. For example, as previously noted, Christianity is the majority faith in America, but it is not the country's official or formal religion. In fact, Christianity does not preach political control over societies or administrative control over governments, unlike Islam, which does. Thus, in America, the individual's pursuit of knowledge and science not only coexists with faith, but springs from the influences of faith and are part of man's internal makeup. Therefore, positive power originates not from mankind's hand or mind, although certainly its practical and earthly application does, but its origin is transcendent and inherent. When we speak of universal or eternal truths like the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, the 10 commandments, thou shalt not kill, etc. Good and evil. These are fundamentally moral precepts understood and ingrained in the human conscience and openly expressed in free and democratic societies. They are known to be true throughout the world, including among those who are oppressed by tyrannical governments and regimes, by the less educated or uneducated, by people of all faiths or no faith. This is not to say all individuals, cultures, or regimes adhere to these eternal truths. Some are evil, power-hungry, irrational. Man's existence is strewn with horrific examples of his cruelty, from ancient history to modern times. And of course, man's imperfection is both well known and well established. But knowing what is right from wrong is distinct from doing what is right rather than wrong. Can I go on? Is this in the least interesting, Mr. Producer? He wants me to keep going, but I can't. So I delve into this even much more deeply. Positive power. This is the American psyche. This is the American experiment. This is America. This is who we are. And I delve into it in ways that I don't believe anybody ever has. And same with negative power. This is who they are. Not you and me, they over there. This is who they are. And so there's a whole construct that I'm trying to unravel and explain. And I take this whole term, power, which is a force. Power is a force. And I break it down in multiple ways. Because I got to thinking, especially when I was injured and I was stuck in bed for 2.5 months, you know, my mind starts rolling and so forth. And I'm thinking, okay, liberty, tyranny, good, evil, rights, denial of rights. We've talked about that. And it's crucially important that we've talked about that. And we always should. And we talk about power at a surface level in a superficial way. Well, we got this. No. The key is power. That's the key. That's the key to the Declaration of Independence. When you read it, it talks about liberty, unalienable rights, but it's power. That's why they're rising up. That's why they're declaring independence. Power. Power. That's what they were debating. Maybe not using the word power, but power at the Constitutional Convention. When we look at the Islamists, whether they're in the Middle East or in our own country, whether they're running for mayor of New York, it's about power. That's what affects your liberty. That's what affects your rights. Even though your liberty and rights are God-given, at the earthly level, decisions are made about how or whether they're exercised. You have these rights as a child of God. That's what the framers and the founders believed, and they're right. That's the whole basis for our free society, a fusion of faith, properly understood, and the Enlightenment. Over there, the Marxists and the Islamists, that's not what it's about. It's about coercion. And in the case of the Islamists, it's about the fundamentalism of their faith and coercion. That's their fusion. And so I try to take and bring it out in a way that's understandable. Otherwise, why even write the damn book, right? On power. When I'm dead and gone, I think this will be the book, if there's anything.
The country deuterino.
That will be the legacy for what I do. Luckily, my wife can't hear me right now. She hates when I talk this way. Right? She says, what are you talking about? Stop it. This will be the book on power. I've written many. It's my 11th. Mark, why do you write books? Because I want to. Because I think they're important. Because they provide a different platform for educating people. I'll tell you something else. It's kind of a secret, but not between us. The book industry right now is very flat. It's very flat. I worry about the book industry. I don't want it to be destroyed. I don't want it to go away. Because when it's all said and done, what I said here last Wednesday won't be remembered, but what I wrote last year might be remembered. You get the point, Mr. Producer? People need to see things, read things. That's how you remember things. So I encourage you to grab this book. I think you're going to really, really learn a lot, get a lot out of it. The value proposition is really great. I mean, $24 or less. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Do you know QuickBooks Online can streamline your business finances? With your financial accounts and apps in one place, you can easily see where your business stands, and clearer insights result in more confident business decisions. Get 90% off QuickBooks Online for 3 months. Limited time offer, terms apply.
Making sense of your money.
The state of the economy, the ability to afford your life. That's what people want.
WMAL's Vince Colonnades, weekdays at noon.
The kind of thing I pay attention to, I'm looking at.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Banking has its perks. We make sure of it. Open an account with Community Bank and get the features that work for you, including Higher rates on CDs, lower rates on personal loans, early pay up to 1 day sooner. You'll even get a free Greenlight subscription. Crush your financial goals and open the right account for you. Stop into a local branch or visit cbna.com/bankhappyperks to open your account today. Conditions and restrictions apply. Member FDIC.
Warning, inflation is back on the rise. The national debt is spiraling out of control. The stock market has been at an all-time high, and wars continue to rage across the globe. Experts are predicting a massive economic crash for 2025, and you should be ready. Will you sit on the sidelines and wait, or will you take action today to help protect your hard-earned retirement savings? Right now, you can get a free gold and silver kit from the top-rated precious metals company, Goldco, where you'll learn why tens of thousands of hardworking Americans and even the world's central banks are turning to precious metals to help protect and diversify their money. Get your free gold and silver kit from Goldco by calling 855-GOLD-IRA. You could even receive up to a 10% instant match on bonus silver for qualified accounts. Don't let your financial future slip through your fingers. Learn why so many Americans are diversifying with gold and silver today. Call 855-GOLD-IRA. That's 855-GOLD-IRA.
Hey, 20 would you bid 30, 30 would you bid 40. That's
Yeah. Excuse me. Fireworks tonight. I'm going to be leaving in a little while, so I'll put that down. I'll entertain anybody who wants to come up for a little bit. And I'll be going pretty soon. Our fireworks is tonight. Looks different over on the phone. That light glaring on my screen. Oh. Right here. That's it. Yeah. You don't have to come up, CB. I'm right in the groove. You probably want to be careful what you might say. It's yummy, not Yumi. Yummy. I had you fucking blushing. I called her I Dream a Genie. I see Muslim woman. That's all I think of is genie in a bottle or in a lantern, whatever you want to call it. If I had time in a bottle, the first thing that I'd like to do is to spend every day till eternity fades away just to be with you. Oh, it's been a long time since I heard that song. I used to know words to Neil Diamond's song. I say I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, and what are you going to do about it? Alvaro, not even Tony can help you, Alvaro. Alpesh can't help you. Wigan can't help you. JC can't help you. Did you want to come up here there, fucking Alvaro, the dude? Or are you fucking the other one? Doesn't Shannon like your guys' accent? That fucking way you guys talk and that Spanish accent? Apologize. There's your fucking apology. Don't come in here demanding apologies. Are you kidding me? Apologize for what? Fuck JC. Go back to her chat. She's got more people than I do. I just did. You can't see that link right there? You can't see that link? I just posted it. I don't believe you, but there you go. Call me a fucking liar, little prick. Nah, he can't block me. He can block. If he blocks that right there, that William Hayden account, he won't see the link. That's his fucking problem. Then I'm just gonna end up banning his dumb ass anyways. And fucking throw you out of here head first. You fucking land right on your face when I'm done with you. JC sucks. You want to go there and hang out, have fun, go ahead. I used to have fun there, but they get mad too easy. JC takes things too personal. She likes to make personal attacks, but if you do it to her, she gets mad. Well, dude, you know what? Because I see you over here. I didn't block you. I'm not going to fucking put up with your fucking horse shit. So I'm going to do that right there. There. The fuck out of here. Go cry to your mother. Go cry to JC. Go cry to Shannon. Go cry to fucking VB. Get the fuck out of my face, you punk motherfucker. I'm leaving pretty soon anyways. I got things I'm going to do, and somebody's going to pick me up at 8 o'clock because we're going to the fairgrounds to watch the fireworks. See the shadows the birds make when they fly out there? I got a fucking yard full of birds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 mourning doves in my front yard right now. And a pigeon. Oh, you guys come in with strange accounts. You have nothing. Yeah, well, you don't really want to fuck with me there, Vicky. Yeah. Wigan was using your picture last night, making fun of you. I made Yummy blush. As soon as I asked her to go backstage with me, she fucking she left. Probably should just roll a new one. Time is it?
Right from the Declaration of Independence, he hated the Declaration and the Constitution. And America's founding principles appears everywhere in his writings and speeches. Again, he insisted that concepts like eternal truths, natural law, unalienable rights, all of which are in the Declaration. They focus on the individual and free will rather than the state, were quaint relics applicable only to the time in which they were asserted. They are neither relevant nor binding on the present or future, which are and will be in constant state of movement, manipulated, and managed by masterminds. Now understand, these are the Jamie Raskins, the Hakeem Jeffries, the Bernie Sanders, this guy running for mayor. This is where their mind is. This is where their mind is. They feel absolutely no allegiance to the Declaration or the Constitution, whether they wave them around or not. But I'm explaining why. One need not be theoretical about the disastrous human consequences resulting from the abandonment of positive power. What's positive power? I described it earlier. The sovereign God, we the people, his children, we are the sovereigns of government, not the government, and so forth. Nothing focuses the mind better, as I write, than the myriad real-life examples of the last century or so and currently of human genocide, mass incarceration, the obliteration of civil liberties, widespread poverty, etc., rooted in the negative power of Marxist ideology, specifically in autocratic regimes generally. This is why I've been saying to you, the problem when some guy says free buses and free public transportation and homes and food and all that, there's no context ever provided, and they're not going to, because the candidates that run against them, the media that cover it, they don't know how to do it. It's sad. It's sad. You have to surrender your liberty. You have to surrender your God-given unalienable rights to an autocrat. Is it worth a free loaf of bread? Although its Western progeny is of a different degree and manner, it is nonetheless a poison that finds opportunity in the fissures and rifts of any democracy, eating away at its bedrock and framework. This is the nature of the so-called progressive movement. In Marxism, unlike, for example, Islam, there is no fusion of faith with coercion, in that there is no faith or higher order with which to fuse. Instead, Marxism replaces faith with a cult-like man-made order where there's no higher order than man, or more precisely, certain men. Indeed, even reason is whatever man says it is, or more specifically, whatever the ruling class says it is. Hence, both faith and reason are repudiated. There can be no conflict of ideas or interests, no compromise or settling. Conformity and uniformity of belief and behavior are essential to Marxism and Islamists. as well as other forms of autocratic enforcement. Point of fact, like Islamism, coercion is central to Marxism, as is the destruction of Western enlightenment and necessarily the advocates, tools, and institutions of positive power, like the Declaration of Independence. The result is the collusion of Marxists and Islamists on American college campuses demanding the eradication of Israel, America, and the West. The alliance is built by communist China with Islamist regimes such as Iran. On the other hand, positive power nurtures that which Marxism, Islamism, and like entities seek to eradicate. That is, the human spirit, virtue, self-consciousness, individual sovereignty and free will, unalienable rights, the competition of ideas, speech and debate, self-reliance, and other attributes of human interaction, and innate character that contribute to a moral, vibrant, and healthy civil society. In America today, like much of the West, most public debate about politics circles around who exercises power, almost to the exclusion of the meaning, purpose, and nature of power, which are central to understanding positive power. Although the who part of power is an essential area of inquiry and discussion, as I explained earlier in the book, it's not enough. The former, without more, is to debate the issue of power on the terms of negative power, that is, the abandonment of the quintessence of positive power and the civil society for a secular view of power unmoored from the principles that informed America's founders. And I go on. It's easier to read than it is for me to read it to you. It's funny how the brain works. I tell you, my mind goes into 1,000 different places. It's funny how the brain works. The visual has a more lasting impact than what you hear. Unless, of course, it's traumatic. I'm not talking about that. So you can sit there and listen to a lecture and it goes on and on. And it's kind of, you're getting tired in one ear, one out the other. There's a lot of people. But if you read it, or you picture it, or you imagine it, you remember it. There are experts who talk about memory, how to remember things, Mr. Producer, and the best way to remember things, very complicated thing. And most of them say the same thing, which is you've got to create illustrations or images in your mind. Images are remembered. The written word, when you read it, is remembered more than when somebody reads it to you. It's just the way it is. And that's, again, why I love books. That's why I love books. Maybe I'm out of step. Who knows? Could be. But I hope you'll grab your copy of On Power. I've spent a lot of time this evening going through different aspects of it. I haven't even touched the surface, but you get a good flavor of this. And I think you'll find it very intriguing. This isn't, paint by the numbers books. It's some publishers, that's what they pretty much want. They want to put a famous name on it, kick it up, sell it, and the next year, name, sell it. Next year, ghostwriter, names. I don't play those games. This is not an assembly line. I write when I want to write about what I want to write. And I try and integrate, like this book, into the books that I've written previously. And to some extent, you might see a different emphasis. Because just as I get older and I learn more things, sometimes I adjust to it. It's not to say my principles or our principles are adjustable. That's not my point. My point is whether there's an emphasis on one aspect more than another, whether there's a bright light that goes on and you start thinking about the other. And that's what happened here with On Power. Just like when I wrote the book, The Liberty Amendments, I was absolutely opposed to Convention of States. I started studying and saying, what the hell am I doing? I'm on the wrong side of this thing. And of course, I supported it. My approach with On Power is to emphasize, to focus more on the issue of power, not to the exclusion of liberty and rights or humanity, but to explain them. And I think one of the chapters you're going to find extraordinarily interesting, well, in my opinion, is the chapter on liberty. I've written chapters on liberty before, but you know what I did on this chapter? I went to some of the greatest minds who discuss liberty. Aristotle, no greater mind than that. I can't name them all, but some you've never heard of before. Isaiah Berlin, brilliant man. I'm fascinated by him. Others, John Stuart Mill wrote a whole book called On Liberty. I tap into the founders and the framers who spent a lot of time talking about it, writing about it. You know what I found out? And you're going to find out when you read the jacket. Not one of them clearly defines liberty. Pretty fascinating, don't you think? I don't think anybody else has come to that conclusion. And I explain it. It's not a criticism. It's not a criticism. Liberty is one of those words that's very difficult to define, and mostly defined by what it's not. By what it's not, or in the context of something else. That's my conclusion.
I see it in JC's chat posting.
We know when it's under attack or when we don't have it. I think you'll find this quite amazing.
Say good night.
Very, very interesting. Now, you folks work very hard. You're Levinites. You're Americans. Try to plan for the future. Try to prepare for the future. You try to preserve what you've built. You try to make sure you put it in a safe investment. But paper's paper, folks, whether it's printed by the government or by some company as a certificate or a piece of stock or whatever it is. Gold doesn't depend on Wall Street. It doesn't depend on the Fed. It doesn't depend on anything.
Last chance.
Value that can
I'm leaving.
Stability and security to your retirement portfolio, for example. And there's always going to be uncertainty out there because the value of paper money, the value of...
I'm going to go out and watch the sunset.
It's not just what takes place in our country, but anywhere in the world. And the debt is out of control. And the way to handle the debt, in my view, is through convention of states, but that's a side point. So you need something real, something
right there.
Hold, something
that's my new name.
Always be valuable. And in my view, that's gold.
That's what I'm going to use on every account. I'm going to fucking change every single one of them. I'm going to quit cloning, and that's my new name right there.
The company that I have the best respect for is Advantage Gold. That's the one I use. I've used
everywhere I go. I'm using that name right there.
They make it easy to learn.
And I don't really go too far. I used to go to JC's. Used to spend a lot of time in JC's and Wigan's chat. Those days are over.
We'll give you the answer. And we're not talking about gold certificates or silver certificates. We're talking about real gold.
So there you are, Wigan. Here's your chance to come up here if you want. You're going to have to catch me later. Think I'm scared to come on your panel? I've been on your panel. Your panel sucks. You suck. Your girlfriend sucks and your chat sucks. I'm your fucking content.
Your financial and tax professional, your CPA. But
you ain't shit.
908,000. I'll be right back.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems. Listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes,
no. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming, and I'll be back later. Well, that's too bad for you. You're a latecomer. I don't remember seeing your name way back in Fox 46 or when JC first started her chat. No, you're somebody who's been here and you changed your name. All right. The first time I seen you was in fucking JT's chat. So fuck you. I'll be back.